Hi everyone, and welcome to the final part of this little series from our weekly planner. We are going to be mainly doing all the greenery today, but a few other elements as well. We'll actually start with the soil on the base, I think. Soil is always a bit of a tricky concept, I think. How do we colour it? Well, I'm going to use 76, which is the really dark brown, and I am going to, let's come in a little closer. There we go. Do a round and round scumbling type movement, and to try and leave some white so that it looks like we've got little circles of clumps of like soil, because soil is not one solid lump. Well, it can be if it's clay, but you know, normally. And this isn't quite as dark as I would expect like a compost to look, but I think it'll be fine. You could always, although we might do that, actually we might add a little bit of black on top after. Perhaps we'll do that. So, but I'm just going gently, because if I speed up, I find my circles will get too big. So I'm going to try to keep it slow and neat, but that isn't really my bag. Now here we start to go up, and we lead to this stem. What I'm going to do is stay low there, and like that, where the soil comes up to the stem. I think that's how it would probably look. You could fade your soil into your stem part, but I'm not sure that would happen. So it might look a little bit neater, but it wouldn't look so real. Not that this looks real, but there is. I'm just thinking. Oh, let's try and get back to being small circles again, not getting distracted by nattering. I just distracted myself by popping downstairs to make a coffee in between videos, and then I noticed I had an email, so I replied to that. And distracting. There we go. So I am going to grab my black. The black is number 9, and go over the top. I'm going to sharpen it a bit though, because I think it will look better if it's sharper. I don't want to. I'm going to have to be careful, because when your pencil's sharper, it will push down harder into the paper, and I want to make sure that we can see the brown through and that it's not too dark, but I think it might just look a little bit more soily. Now I want it to look like it's a mix of black and brown. I don't want them blended as such, so I'm leaving some gaps as I go, so that hopefully you can see both colours. If you don't like the idea, you can just stick with your brown or use a lighter brown, but I think soil's quite dark. In some areas, of course, it's not. Some areas have quite a reddish soil. In the UK, I can't speak for everywhere. I know some places would be quite sandy, I assume, and would probably be quite light. Not that sand is always light, of course. No, in is it Tenerife, the sand's black because it's volcanic. So anyway, it's this is how I think it looks. Wet soil. It's very wet today. Although I don't think it's raining at the moment, but I'm sure it will be soon. It's one of those days. It's murky and dark, rainy. We get used to those in the UK though. It's what we do best. Rain. And moaning about the rain. We're very good at that. Now I need to choose my 2 greens that I'm going to use. I have decided already, I'm not going to choose now, that I'm going to start with the 5, which is quite a dark green, and I'm going to mix it with the light number 56. Okay, so we'll start with our 5. I'm going to do my darker work. So let's start with this stem. Now I'm thinking the stem would be darker here and then maybe slightly lighter towards the middle. Now where it's very thin we can't really do a lot, but where it's thicker here at the bottom we can make it a bit darker there and then bring it in gently like that. And with the leaves I'm just going to sort of fade that up. They're quite small on this particular one. There we go. Now where should we go next? We got these ones. We'll just try to make them slightly darker nearer the stem. They're quite tricky, they're quite small. I'm just doing my best. Goodness, I'm hungry. It's 11 o'clock. Shouldn't be hungry. My husband was saying actually he's using up some bread in the freezer that he bought a while ago, and it's granary. Well, it's not really, it's seeded, so it's white bread with various seeds in. And he said he has a slice for his breakfast with some nut butter and marmalade. Yes, I know. No, it's not marmalade, it's apricot jam. Almond, nut butter, apricot jam on... Anyway, we're moving swiftly on. He said he's really noticed how it doesn't fill him up and he's hungry by 11 o'clock. Compared to when he has a wholemeal slice of bread. I'm doing the same on all the leaves really, a bit darker in and lighter. When he has a wholemeal slice he can last until 12. It's interesting. I actually had quite a small breakfast this morning, but I wasn't hungry then. I try and listen to my body and gauge how hungry I am. I always have a very similar breakfast. Sliced up small banana, some grapes, sliced up grapes with some cocoa powder and... oh, my stomach's rumbling. With some oats and spelt flakes and soy milk. And I just vary the amount of cereal that I have depending on how hungry I am. We always buy quite small bananas. If we ever have to get large ones, I share one with one of my boys. Hasn't got such a big appetite as the other one, so we'll share a banana. But I've just got to wipe my nose, sorry. So now I know these are unfinished. I'm going to use the other green to finish them off. So each flower, each piece of greenery is going to have 2 layers of colour. Okay, I'm going to do all the grass now, and actually I might just do the grass this colour. Just so it, I think I can hear it raining. Just so it stands out. I'm so distracted. Like a little meerkat. I can hear a noise outside. My head's up. What's that? Oh dear. Oh, we haven't done these little toadstools. We'll get there. We'll keep going with this first. So this stem's similar to the other stem. So I want a darker piece on the edge. We'll take this dark bit across here. And then I think here we'll go dark and fade towards the edge. Yeah, me and my boys have cereal. My husband has toast for breakfast. That's okay. My boys eat similar. One of them likes a yoghurt. He might have a yoghurt on some oats with a banana. And the other one doesn't have yoghurt. He doesn't like it. I'm just going to bring that in a bit. So he has milk on his oats, and he has some spelt as well, and they both have banana. But my son, who has yogurt, he mixes it up sometimes and makes himself some microwave porridge. So I find it always boils over. He's really good, but he has cow's milk. I don't, because the boys aren't lactose intolerant like me. So I don't know if it's something to do with plant milk, it just boils over. I don't know, but I've lost patience with trying because I just don't get any success. I realise I haven't done these. Have a think. We'll do this stem quite dark. I think with this one, we'll put a bit of dark on each end of the leaves, just for a bit different. But I always give them the same lunchbox as well. It must be really boring for them. My husband, I make a salad. So he has tinned sweet corn, carrot, tomatoes, lettuce, cucumber, pepper. And he makes himself a dressing. And the children have a cheese roll. I give them a few salady bits. They have grapes, and one son has carrot sticks, the other one doesn't. He says he hurts his teeth. He's got braces, and I don't know, he doesn't like them anyway. I think it's a bit of an excuse, but it doesn't matter. And they have a bit of pepper and a bit of cucumber as well. So that's nice to get a few veggies every day like that. And we always do a lot in the evening meal. I'm going to carry on with it. I can't decide what to do. But I do enjoy cooking, but sometimes I'm a bit lazy. Do something quick. Last night I threw some fish fingers in the oven and put some veg on to boil. It's really easy, boring, but yeah. Might do a stew tonight. It feels like stew weather, it's cold. I've put my cardigan on. But then the heating's not on, I don't think, at the minute. I try and leave it off for a little bit in the day. I think dark around the edge is a bit easier. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I try and leave it off a bit in the day because it doesn't need to be on all the time, I don't think. And if I get too cold, I can just pop it on. But just popping on a cardigan is really what I should do. Trying to keep our gas and electric use down. It was really high in December. I think partly because we entertained quite a few times, and when we're entertaining, we'll put the heating up and on a bit more. The heating was on all day, and I had the ovens on a lot as well. But and it was cold. We had snow, and we had a big hole in our kitchen wall as well. So none of that would have helped. Now I'm going to do these, or else I'm going to forget. I might do them this colour. Whoops. There's some peach colour that I say I don't like. Let's do it that colour. It is number 43. There we go. Right, let's get back to flowers, to stems I mean. It's quite thin, isn't it? I'm going to fade that to the tip. Got no idea what to do with that either. Need to do it or else I'm going to forget. We have got a colour we haven't used. Maybe I should use that. It's show up enough. Am I going to use it for the mushrooms? I'm going to do this colour. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It needs to be sharpened. number number 20, magenta. There we go. That was exciting, wasn't it? Now we have to decide which of those two stems belongs to the plant. I think it's that one. And up. Now each leaf to the tip. And on up. It's quite narrow, this one. There's not a lot we can do apart from just blocking some colour in. Probably should have sharpened my pencil a bit more. But there we go. I will in a minute because we've got more thin bits coming up. There we go. Now people do ask, the Staedtler Ergosofts, this isn't, a triangle. And people wonder about sharpening them. Just use a conventional sharpener, it works absolutely fine. I have also heard people ask about sharpening the Brute Funas, the square ones. Those apparently work in the dowel sharpener, like a rotary sharpener. I don't know whether they would work in any rotary sharpener, but it is worth having a think. I also used to have some jumbo pencils, extra thick. They were the Bambino ones. They came with their own special sharpener because they were, although if you look at this sharpener, it's got 2 holes. They would have fitted in that one. I've got no blade in that hole though. What I do is when the blade runs out in the little hole, when it goes blunt, runs out, it's not a pen. when the blade gets blunt or dull, I swap it with the other one. But I take the one out and chuck it. You have to be careful, wrap it in some paper and do it very carefully. But because I don't want to, it helps me remember that I've done it. Or else I think, have I done that? Oh, have I still got a blade that I can use? Also, spare blades. I gather you can buy spare blades on Amazon.com. You can't buy them on Amazon.co.uk. I think it's to do with rules as to what you can post. I don't think you can post sharps very easily. You can, but yeah, it's paperwork. So Staedtler do send them out if you message them, but you have to acknowledge that you're going to be careful, not do anything silly with them. Yeah. So I just got in touch with their customer services and asked where I could buy them, and they send them out, which is useful. I could do with a new sharpener really, but changing the blades in it is a good alternative. You don't want to keep changing the sharpener all the time because it's a bit wasteful. You don't normally need to change the sharpener before the blades go blunt. Okay, I'm going to do the next bit of green and then worry about the mushrooms after. Worry, no, I'm not worried about them. So I'm just giving it a sharpen. So this is the 56, which is the light olive. And I'm actually going to go over everything with this. Now the reason I'm going over everything is because it's quite a different tone of green to the one I've put down already. And if I just put it on the tip like that, it looks a little bit odd, but if it's blended up with the other colour, I think it works. You might prefer to blend the, use the willow green instead. But I just really like this light olive green, so I'm using it. It's also always tempting if it's a colour, if you've got a colour you really like, not to use it, to sort of preserve it. But I try not to be like that. I think pencils and art materials are there to be used. And yeah, if I use up my favourite, I'm just doing an even colouring. If I use up all my favourites, then I'll have to try something different, and it would expand my horizons. So but that's interesting. But actually now I've got the colour cube cards, when I'm using those, I'm not going to go over the grass as I said before. That has really meant that I'm using different colours to what I might normally use. So it's been really good fun. So I am really liking them. When you if you're not sure about them, if you want them, whatever, I've had a few disasters, I have to admit, and so in my completed pages video at the end of the month, I'm going to get out the colour cube cards that I've used for certain pages and show you the card and the picture, so my sort of interpretation of the card, and you can see the couple of, one disaster was awful, I think, but you know, I can talk you through how I would have changed it up to make it better once I finished. I mean, it's too late to change it now, but looking back, I think, oh, I should have done that. Do you know what I mean? So I can talk you through that, and so that'll be interesting. So look out for that. It'll only be right at the end of the month, so a while to go yet. But I think it might be useful. So anyone who's sort of wondering whether to get them, I realise they're really expensive, or you might be saving up for them or having to wait, you know. But there is a digital version which is a bit cheaper, I think. And I think in a way I might not have used that as much if I'd got that instead, because I missed that one. Because it feels a bit less accessible, because I don't have my tablet open when I'm colouring, because it's not, I try not to have so many devices around. It also gets in my way on my desk, so I pop it away. Yeah, I may not have used it as much, but there are advantages in that you can sort of search for palettes and things. So what I'm thinking is, someone had said to me about buying it, and I was like, oh, I might ask for it for my birthday, which is not for a while yet. But she said, oh, I've got some Christmas money. I was like, oh, so have I. But I actually think that what I'm going to do is to go through all the cards first, use every one for a picture. I'm already on 30 something, and then maybe buy the software. So I've sort of already got, in case I suddenly decide that I don't want to use the cards, I just like the software. Do you know what I mean? And I might not get them out again. So I want to make sure I use them. But they are fun, I think. And I do have a little review of them. Right, there's our leaves. I'm happy with those. Done. We have these mushrooms now. I am going to start with using this colour for them. This is number 37. It is the cyan. I don't think... Did I use it there? Yeah, I did, didn't I? No, change of mind. Going to use this colour. Oops. Which is number 33. It's the cobalt blue. We haven't used this. Now we've got stems, tops and stalks. I'm going to do the main part of the mushroom with this. And I'm going to fade it towards the middle. There we go. And for the top and the stalk, I think I'm going to use grey. Oh, I missed a bit there. And our grey, light grey, which is number 80. If you've got a dark grey, you might rather use that, as we've already used the light grey, but all the way up there. Now ideally with a stalk, I would make it darker on the edges so it looks more rounded, same as the stems of the flowers, but there's not enough space. Right, so there's that. So that is us done, but we need to think about the light shining on our jar, sort of background. Do we do a background colour? If so, what? I haven't really been thinking. Black is a possibility, but it might look a bit messy and we might lose some of our colour. A light yellow is another possibility, we haven't used that, so we could do that. Or we could use grey, which was my idea initially, which I've got in my hand, in just a small amount. Or we could just leave it completely blank. Now we could use pastel instead of pencil as well to mix it up a bit, which I think I'm going to do. Yeah, okay, let's just move these pencils back there with me. Let's get out our pastels. Now I don't want to do anything too dark, so here we are. Let's have a think. I've got a very light blue, which could be an option here, look, or a grey, a very light purple, which I know doesn't show up very much, this sort of peachy colour, or a lightish pink, or a creamy colour there. Let's have a look at the colours we've got. We haven't got a lot of yellow. I think we could probably get away with a yellow. But I'm thinking, there's gold, but we've got gold on our jar already. But we've used all the colours really, haven't we? So we can't really... What about that? That colour. I wonder what that looks like. I'm going to take a bit and put it on my rough paper. See what it looks like. There, it's a sort of olivey green. I'm going to use that. Now my next dilemma is, do I use it? I can't get it to come off properly. It's coming. Do I use it all over the page or just in the terrarium? And I'm going to use it just in the terrarium. It's going to be quite difficult to keep it in the lines, but that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Now you notice I'm going right over the top of the flowers. That's because I can't possibly get it in between them all. So I'm just going to go for it. Now most of them don't have any white left, or only a little bit, so I think it'll be okay. Also, these pencils don't smudge, so I can go rub over the top and know that it won't smudge them away, sort of thing, or smudge the colour into the background, which is good. I want to get enough down so we can actually see it, particularly on the edges, which is tricky because I don't want to go out of the page. But the good thing with the pastels is they erase. So if you do make a humongous error, then you can just erase it. Need a little bit in here, trying to make it reasonably even. Now it's not very dark, but I am happy with that amount. I think that is just fine. And I am going to just get a white pen. There we go. Use my Posca. And I need to draw on this to make it look like it is shiny. Now how do we do that? Well, we get our clean eraser first and we rub out where we've gone out the lines over here. There are a number of options. We can draw some great big reflection marks like I did on my snow globe video, which was the which was the first one in December in the last planner. Or I can just draw a few lines, which might be what I will do. don't think we've gone out from this side very much, so just brush that away. Don't use your hands now you've got pastel because you'll smudge it. So I'm thinking we could go like that to make it look like there's light shining off a glass, which is what I'm going to do. It's quite daring using white pen on top of your picture, but you don't have to if you don't feel that it's gonna make that much difference. Do them all in the same direction, and I don't know if you can even see it, but there we go. That is it done. I can see it mainly on top of the flowers rather than on top of the actual pastel, but you know, that's how it is. So there we go. I'm going to leave that there. So as I say, you can do the sort of big triangular reflected light bits like I did in a previous video, but I just wanted to show you something a little bit different and easier. But there we go, there's our finished terrarium. I think it's such a pretty picture by Johanna. I hope we've done it justice. But thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day and tune in tomorrow for something a bit different. Happy colouring.